Mine says 5. We'll go with yours.
Okay, good evening. It is 6 o'clock. Quorum, thank you for your attendance. And then a second item on our agenda is the public hearing on the proposed tax rate. Do we have any public? No? Thank you very much. All right. Committees and the first executive meeting meet and review this tonight's agenda. We also, Dr. Wallace had a few questions for the executive committee regarding the follow-up for his evaluation. And we also talked about the attendance at the CAT conference that was held Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of this last week. So that's all at that particular meeting. How about the Finance Committee?
Yes, the Finance on September 12th, we discussed the fourth quarter tax rate, which discussed year-end transfers related to Graham reserves. There was a surplus related to the branch campus maintenance tax over what we had budgeted, and those will be moved into board reserves earmarked for projects on the Graham campus. We looked at the August financials. We got updates from
Item on our agenda would be
not a very long report at all, just some dates and some information that's coming your way. The Accreditation Commission for Education and Nursing, so ASIN, that accredits our nursing programs, will be on campus September 26th through the 28th for their regularly scheduled site visit. That doesn't affect the board in the sense that they don't require that we visit with board members like the other accreditation processes, but we just wanted you to be aware that they're coming to campus and we'll be here for that visit. On September 29th at 1:30 p.m. on the Gainesville campus in the Industrial Technology Building, the Texas Workforce Commissioners Chairman and Commissioner representing the public will be making a award announcement and presentation to NCTC, and so that's an exciting high demand job training grant award presentation that will be taking place with Mr. Commissioner Daniel, and so that is again 1:30 p.m. September 29th, and we'll send a follow-up email for the board just to kind of get these on your calendar as well. Also, October 6th from 8:30 until 1:30, 8:30 morning to 1:30 p.m., not the other way around. NCTC Denton campus will be hosting our 6th annual NCTC Student Conference, Building Future Leaders. That conference provides students with complete professional development experience to really just enhance their success skills, their leadership strategies, and career insights. That's hosted by our Completion Center and Career Services staff, so excited about that opportunity. That's always been a really exciting group to greet as well. On another note, the North Texas Small Business Development Centers is pleased to announce that Lori Logan, Lori, are you here? There she is. Now you have to stand up for this. Lori has been named the recipient of the 2023 North Texas Small Business Development Center Network State Star Award, and you have to say all that together.
Hey.
Her motivation and innovative programming has made it a lasting contribution to North Texas, and you've heard from several reports through the years of the amount of capital infusion we've seen out of the SBDC for North Texas businesses, and so we appreciate her. Lori will represent that the North Texas SBDC network at our State Star Award during the American SBDC celebration in Nashville this week, I think, or maybe next week or 2 weeks, okay. And so we're honored to have Lori on our team, and the North Texas Small Business SBDC actually said that they applaud her as well, which is managed, if you remember, by Dallas College. And that's it. You've had so many updates for me the last few weeks that have been lengthy and legislative. This is short and sweet tonight, so that's all I have for you.
Well, thank you for your report. Before we move on, I wanted to make a brief announcement. The board received an invitation to an alumni awards banquet at Hardin-Simmons University that Dr. Brent Wallace, our chancellor, is going to be honored as a distinguished alumni on October the 12th at 6:30 p.m. in Abilene. And I thought it says here that the Distinguished Alumni Award is given since 1970 and is presented to alumni whose personal and professional accomplishments are exemplary of the ideas of the university and thus bring honor to Hardin-Simmons University. So congratulations, Dr. Wells. All right, so the next report would be the next item on the agenda, number 6 would be the reports to the board. Dr. Miller, financial.
Chairman, you have the August financial report in front of you, and of course, August is the end of the fiscal year, so this is the final monthly report that you'll receive, and I do want to caution everyone, just because this is the last monthly report, it doesn't necessarily mean this is what the final annual report will look like. There's a lot of end-of-year adjustments that will be done in our books that are ongoing right now and will be ongoing with auditors over the next couple of months. So, but this does give us a good opportunity to take a look and see where things appear to be as we end the fiscal year. As always, I'll be glad to answer any questions that you might have about any of the reports. A couple of things I would call your attention to, if you would look on the statement of funds, which is the first page of the report. I wanted to go back through, since we are at the end of the fiscal year, and point out some of the special funds that you see on this page. A couple of board projects that are located about a third of the way down the page. Those funds were set aside from board reserves many months ago, actually. But just as a reminder, on the maintenance facility in Corinth, I believe that was originally $550,000 for that project, and it is nearing its completion. We have about $100,000 to spend on that particular project and expect that to be completed in the next month or two. We also began the building security fund with about $275,000, and most of that has been spent, down to about a little over $40,000 left there. And then a couple of other items. You recall back in April, we had tax notes that totaled about $2.5 million, and so we've spent over $500,000 of those so far this year. Still have a balance of just over $1.9 million remaining. And then the special appropriation at the bottom of the page for the Medal of Honor Museum. As you recall, we're basically fiscal agent for that project, and we receive, for the last 2 years, we've received a $2.5 million appropriation each year. So we have received $5 million, and the balance of those funds right now we're starting to see the funds going out, because as you can see the construction progressing over on the corner. We're starting to get bills from the contractor for that. So that is starting to come down, but within the next week, we expect our next annual appropriation of $2.5 million from the state. So that budget will go back up, and with that $2.5 million, we fully expect to have the funds needed to complete the construction of the project. And even with that, next year at this time, there will be what we expect to be a fourth and final appropriation of $2.5 that we hope to be able to use for the ongoing operations of the facility once it's been open. Any questions about that or any of these other funds?
Doesn't look like it. Thank you very much. All right. All right, the next item on our agenda would be the consideration of the approval of the consent agenda items. Are there any of the items A through E as represented here that need to be taken and considered independently? Okay. If not, then I would accept a motion to approve the consent agenda items as presented. Motion by Mr. Henderson. Do we have a second? Second by Erica Sullivan. Any additional discussion? All those in favor signify aye and raise your right hand, please. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. All right, so the next item is the discussion of possible action item on the resolution to adopt the ad valorem tax rate for the 2023-2024 year.
Madam Chairman. This time, the administration asks your consideration of the resolution to adopt an ad valorem tax rate for 2023. The resolution that you find in your packet contains a combined tax rate of 8.86 cents per $100 valuation. This tax rate is higher than the no new tax rate, but lower than the voter approval rate. As you recall, the combined tax rate is comprised of two parts. First, maintenance and operations, which in this case is 6.42 cents per $100 valuation. And the second portion is the interest and sinking, which in this case is 2.44 cents per $100 valuation for a total tax rate of 8.86. As you can see in the statutory language included in the resolution, the increase in taxes will amount to $4.60. Before you consider this resolution, I would like to state for the record that even with this slight increase in taxes, the budget that was approved last month includes more total spending on facilities, maintenance, and operations for the Gainesville campus than what is projected as revenue from this tax rate. The budget calls for spending of just over $6.1 million in Gainesville, and taxes from this proposed tax rate will generate just under $5.6 million in revenue. So the administration asks your approval of the proposed resolution to adopt an ad valorem tax rate of 8.86 cents per $100 valuation for 2023.
All right. Okay, the motion, well, hang on, we have to read it. You've got it. Oh, thank you. Go ahead.
$8.86 per $100 value, which is effectively a 7.7 increase in the tax rate.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Henderson. Do we have a second? Second by Chrissy Morris. Additional discussion at this time. Okay, this will need to be a roll call vote, so I'll ask everybody independently to raise their hand and say aye. Lisa Bellows? Dylan Ott? Aye. Chrissy Morris? Aye. Carla Metzler, aye. Jerry Henderson? Erica Sullivan, sorry. Okay, motion passed. All right, the next item on our agenda is executive session. I don't believe we have anything this evening. So at this time, we will adjourn at 6:13.